Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again, and on today's episode, we have a video here from Insolent Audits titled, Women Are Begging Men to Stop Going Their Own Way. So without further ado, let's just jump right into today's episode. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
So my guy friend's been seeing this girl for a while, but he told me he doesn't want anything serious with her. And last night he tells me that he's taking her out to dinner on Valentine's Day. And I was like, what? And he was like, what? And I was like, if a guy I was seeing took me out to dinner on Valentine's Day, I would think he's like asking me to be his girlfriend. And he was like, why would you think that? And I was like, why would you think that Valentine's Day is a casual day?
I bet you guys that this has actually happened to this exact woman. Whenever you hear these scenarios of these women saying, oh, this thing happened to my friend, and then they proceed to outline something about, you know, the woman getting screwed over by the man. Usually it's the woman, and she's incredibly salty about it, but she's too embarrassed to say that it was actually her.
I can't even think of a less casual day to a girl. And he was like, no, she doesn't think that. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And now I need to know if I'm just crazy for thinking this or if every other girl would think that too.
Let me say that I agree with her saying a woman who is taken out on a Valentine's date is going to read it as a more serious date. No argument on that. But let's keep this 100, ladies. If he only takes you out on the date and he doesn't say he wants a more serious commitment, well, that would make you a victim of reading too far into it. Nah, son, you can't play the sign language game when it's convenient to you ladies.
What? What are you talking about?
Okay, here's what I'm talking about. The reason you can't expect the man to be your boyfriend off a Valentine's date is the same reason a guy can't expect you to sleep with him after he pays for a dinner date. It's simple, since it's your own techniques used against you, ladies, aka it's the soft guy era. Moving on.
The way our generation dates is wild. I mean, firstly, there are a million dating apps, which is not a bad thing, because I know beautiful stories and a lot of stories where people get married off of meeting each other on a dating app. But
Holy hell. This woman looks absolutely stunning, and by stunning, I mean it looks as though she has not taken care of her skin whatsoever. I think it is important that we men take care of our skin so that we don't end up looking like her, which is why today's episode is sponsored by Tiege Hanley. Guys, Tiege Hanley is a skincare company that specifically specializes in making skincare for men that is super simple. The entire process from start to finish is made completely foolproof, so even if you're a male feminist, you could probably figure it out as well. Tiege Hanley has different kinds of skincare systems to help improve your skin, but what I would recommend to start with is their level 1 system. In their level 1 system, you get a face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20, and you also get a PM moisturizer as well. Personally, I have been using their level 1 system since before they were a sponsor of the channel, which is why I thought that they would be a great fit for the channel. Not only that, but just to show some receipts here, if you head on over to their website, you can find a ridiculous amount of 5-star reviews from all over the world, which I'll flash up on screen now for you to see. And the reason why they have so many 5-star reviews is because so many use their skincare products and are happy with the results. And guys, because Tiege is sponsoring today's video, we have an amazing deal just for the people who are watching this video. If you click the link in the video description now, you can get 40% off of your first box plus a free gift. Also, when you become a member, you get 20% off for life. So guys, don't wait any longer. Make sure you check out the link in the video description to start with them today. But anyway, let's get back to today's episode. Let's be honest, okay? Dating applications are a terrible thing for modern day relationships. Anyone who says otherwise is a little bit delusional, in my opinion. Dating applications are probably one of the single most destructive things to things like the nuclear family or long-lasting relationships. Like, dating applications are really up there with divorce courts and family courts. Okay, you have so many women whose egos go through the damn roof because a bunch of guys will message them on a dating application, and then it rocks around time to actually find a boyfriend or a husband, and these women can't do it. Right? They don't want to lower their standards. They can't go back to something that they feel as though they deserve more than. Right? So if she's dated a dude who has a Ferrari, going to be very hard for her to, and when I say date, I don't actually mean a relationship. Oftentimes these women can't get those. They don't want to go date the guy who has a Toyota. Okay, so dating applications are just awful. There's a million and one reasons why, but one of the main ones is that you have these women who get straight up delusional from using these applications.
You're basically swiping left or swiping right, depending on how much you find that person physically attractive, and vice versa, right? So that's interesting to me. But people are really out here full on dating. I mean, they're on their 10th date, they're traveling together, they're having sex, they're making plans for the future, and then they get the ick about something and they're like, thank you, bye. Ghosted. We're done here. Like, we literally took Ariana Grande's song, Thank You, Next. Literally. I don't like the way that you smile. Thank you, next. I don't like the way that you chew. Next. I don't like the way that you walk in little slippers. Thank you, next. Like, it's crazy because there's a million options, right? So no one is finding stability in dating. They're like, oh, wow, if we disagree on something and you're giving me the ick on this, why would I stay when I have a million other choices and a million other swipe right, swipe lefts that I can have and do?
They are dating and get the ick about something and then buy. That would be overwhelmingly women. Now, before the XX chromosome misogyny labeling squad jump all over this gorilla for that, let's be 100 up in here. There is a huge difference when a man cuts and runs from a woman who starts asking all about his financial worth than a woman who got the ick because she didn't like the guy's shoes. Sorry there, you female ick enablers, but even you have to realize that at some point, discarding a potential partner for such a small, trivial thing is quite immature.
Yeah, see, that's what a lot of these women do. They treat these dates as almost like interrogations or job interviews for the men, right? And they wonder why men don't want to date them. It's not even a pleasant experience where you get to know somebody for the dude. It's like the guy is just basically being pressed for what he has and what he can offer. And then anytime a man says, hey, well, what do you offer in return? Then all of this, the shaming languages and the insults all come out of nowhere. Because, of course, men can't have standards. That's not really allowed.
Squeeze me? Oh, no, you dick.
Another thing this queen said was, why should women look past the small X when she has a million other choices on the apps? I could easily say a half dozen reasons why modern women shouldn't jump to the next guy so quickly, but the most important reason is body count, aka mileage. The harder you ride that carousel, the looser those meat curtains get. Not to mention, the older you get, the lower quality of an LTR becomes.
Liar!
My peers, my friends are going through so much hardship in dating. And it is not just a one person issue. It's, communication goes both ways and dating goes both ways. But like, you don't think the people that are truly in happy marriages didn't fight, or that they don't have icks about one another? Like, I look at my relationship of 2.5 years with my partner and I think about the amount of good arguments we had to have this beautiful foundation, right? Like, there was one point where I was like, wow, we really can't see eye to eye. Like, you don't believe what I believe and this is clashing. So how do we figure out a way to meet in the middle? And there's just no more middle in dating in our generation anymore. There's no more finding the middle. And so, I don't know, I just needed to rant a little bit because it's a little scary. Like, we wonder why divorce rates are super high. We wonder why the marriage rate is super low. We wonder why people aren't getting married or having children. And it's like,
no, we actually don't wonder why the divorce rate is so high. It's actually very simple. When you combine a no-fault divorce, cash payout options for women, alimony, possible child support, and a woman's fee-fees of I am not happy, you get that awesome 70% plus female-led divorce rate and the super hard carousel rides while she is finding herself. Before any fembots out there come after me, it's been proven that one of the biggest reasons women break up families is financial reasons, not the proclaimed men's fault as the fairer gender's auto cop-out attempt usually goes. The funny thing is, a good percentage of you ladies that break up your families because you found your new soulmate boo find out the hard way that statistically it's proven there is less than a 5% chance he will be around after the 10-year mark. But hey, putting your ex-husband and children through the Hades of divorce and financial ruin was totally worth it because your feels were sure about it.
I'm actually convinced, guys, that a lot of these women who do this don't actually care about their kids. right? Or they don't actually care about their husbands, okay? And this is what happens when you literally incentivize women who leave their relationships and their, their marriages and things like this, right? Women literally get paid to do this from the man, okay? Which is something that's just absolutely insane to me. But I've also heard a lot of people say, well, the reason why women divorce men so much more is because the men deserve it, right? Men are just awful, and men need to be trained in how to treat a woman, because women wouldn't be divorcing these guys, if it weren't for the men being awful. But the funny thing is, guys, is that a lot of these men, they're not awful people. The women are just incentivized to ditch them and to screw them over for money. Okay, but a lot of these people, they're totally ignorant to that, and they completely ignore this, and they just say, oh, well, it's men's fault again. If men were just better, then they wouldn't be getting divorced, right? The women wouldn't be taking them for all of their money and the kids. But that's not true at all. Okay, a lot of these men are good men. They are hardworking men who just get absolutely screwed over because the woman feels like it, because she's bored, and simply because she can. So, pretty ridiculous.
And financial ruin was totally worth it because your feels were sure about it. Moving on.
Dating game just sucks these days. It's hard to find someone that's actually compatible with you and doesn't want to play games. You're swiping on the apps, and if you do want to date with someone, they never look like they actually do in their profile picture, so it's like you feel like you're being scammed. No one has a personality, and then no one wants to be in a relationship. It's always like hookup culture, or you feel awkward asking, do you want a relationship, because it's like weird. You don't feel like you are being spoiled. You don't feel like someone's trying to like win you. It's just like you think and probably know that they're dating like 16 other people at the same time.
Yeah, this is what happens when you chase the top percentage of dudes on dating applications. They have no reason to commit to you. They're seeing 57 other women at the same time, and you have nobody to blame but yourself. You don't have to date the guy with the ridiculously good-looking photos, who has like some studio thing going on where he's wearing a suit and he has a chiseled jawline and he's over 6 foot. You don't have to do this. You don't have to date those men. But of course, these women do that, and then they want to cry victim. Okay, that's like me going out here, dating a woman who has bright pink hair, who's a self-proclaimed womanist, and then, I'm shocked that she's an awful person and she's not relationship material and she cheated on me, right? See, when men go out here and they engage with stupid relationships with women, they get hit with reality. People tell them, like, yo, you're an idiot for doing this sort of thing. But women are just not hit with reality at all. Especially from other people, but they just kind of go up against this barrier of like, wait a minute, I can't get a relationship out of this guy. He doesn't want to date me. Of course he doesn't want to date you. Okay, but these women never take accountability for the types of people that they are choosing to date. Okay, guys, like when men are out here, I'll say this one more time. If you have some dude and, he's out here dating someone who's like a womanist, and then she monkey branches and ditches him and replaces him with another man, you could just sit there and go, well, of course, dude, you're stupid for doing that. Why on earth would you do it? But you can't say that to women. They get all offended, and things should be different. The man should just be handed to her simply because she exists and because she's a woman. Right? I deserve chivalry from the man that I want, but that's not actually true whatsoever.
And so there's so much competition, but then no one wants to be locked down. It's weird. And I'm saying this from experience, okay? Like, I have a boyfriend right now, and I want to bring up an idea. Think about how the dating game used to be many, many years ago, right? Like, I know my grandma and papa literally met in an ice cream parlor. And
I wonder how this woman's relationship will go. I always have a very negative suspicion about these women who have relationships, who are out here, on TikTok complaining about the dating scene. I don't think it'll typically last. A lot of these women who are complaining about their current dating scene, they're complaining because they've been through a lot of men who haven't wanted to commit to them. And, going and seeing a whole bunch of guys is a really strong indicator that your future relationships won't last.
my papa walked up to my grandma and had a conversation. She always tells us the story with so much detail, like how she was so happy that he walked up to her and she gave him a hard time and he kept trying to win her back, and then he became really good friends with my grandma's mom so that the mom would be like, you should go hang out with that boy more often, like he seems very nice. And so he won over the family before he even won over my grandma, and my grandma still gave him a hard time. And it's just like a cute story between them. I know it's kind of like she's playing hard to get.
Oh boy, here we go again. Women.
Yeah, really cute how the man has to put in all the effort, get rejected 50 million times. Yeah, see, those days are gone, right? You know, you got the lover boy outside the house throwing rocks at the window, playing guitar. That stuff is well and truly out the window. I think of men, you know, have developed a bit of self-respect also when it comes to this, okay? You could say back in the day that your grandmother actually might be worth all of that hassle. But if you're trying to convince me that that kind of romance is something that is well spent on modern women, you are out of your mind. And it's also called into question whether or not that's romance at all. You know, dudes are absolutely sick of being expected to do all of this stuff after being rejected. The modern day way is kind of like, you know, if you say no to a guy, a lot of guys will just straight up say, yeah, look, I'm not going to continue pursuing you. You're not interested in me. I'm not going to continue giving, you know, free attention, free validation. Because let's be honest, you have so many women who will lead dudes on, pretend to be interested or play hard to get when in actual fact, they don't actually care about the guy whatsoever. They're not interested in him and they just want to use him for free attention and free messages on Instagram when they're feeling lonely. Okay, so very different times, very different women as well.
Women created the modern dating culture, and now they once more complain about it. Don't look at men, ladies. This is your Frankenstein's monster. The funny thing is, her complaints are far more common with things that women do than men. As she said, they never look like they actually do in their profile picture. Yeah, all those men wearing 5 pounds of fake up with a filter on top are the worst, aren't they, ladies?
Most men don't even know how to edit their photos on these dating applications in the first place. Like, a lot of guys don't even have an editing application on their phone, and this woman's trying to convince you that men are not really who they, you know, what they look like in their pictures. These women literally put on pounds of makeup, then put on filters over the top, and then she's complaining about, you know, women getting deceived on dating applications. Get out of here, bro. Get out.
Also said, no one has a personality. You mean like when men are expected to make the first move and carry the conversation? Right. But when she claims you don't feel like you are being spoiled and they are dating 16 other people, yeah, that's what happens when you queens always swipe on the same guys. It's not your sausage, it's just your turn. And sweetie, comparing yourself with your grandma is a hoot. Oh, let me guess. She probably wants the same level of attention and treatment her granny got. One question though, are you untouched and pure to demand traditional treatment?
Now that's a lot of damage!
Hey, I'm just pointing out the obvious here and asking a real world question. It's freaking hilarious how these modern day liberated women want to pick and choose when they get traditional treatment. This ain't Burger King, honey. You can't have it your way.
But she doesn't like to say this, but she also did say that she liked him too. So it was kind of like a fun way to finally date someone. The point is though, they didn't meet on a dating app, right? My grandma and papa, they're like 80 years old, okay? I love them and that, they're awesome. But they met because they were out in public and had a normal conversation, right? And my papa pursued my grandma. He went out of his way to pursue my grandma. So what if you did that to someone in the present day, 2024? You walk up to someone and you think is attractive and you start to have a conversation with them and you try to pursue them. And I don't care what gender you are. Like girls, you can walk up to guys that you think are cute and like vice versa.
Oh, hell no. Okay, I think a lot of guys are just straight up done with approaching modern women. There is a lot of reasons for that. We covered that, I believe, in the last episode, or perhaps the next one. I'm recording 2 videos at once at the moment, back to back, but there are so many reasons why men don't approach modern women. The one that comes first to mind is that oftentimes women say that they don't want to be approached anymore. Right? Oh, I don't need no man. I don't want a man. Like, I can do everything myself. It's like, okay, women kind of got what they wanted there. That's number one. Number 2, risk of false allegations. Number 3, obviously, there's the rejection. Why should guys be the one to risk rejection when, honestly, there's very little in return to gain from it? Like, you can make the case that rejection is worth it back in the day when women were honestly worth more. But these days, like, why on earth would you go out here and get rejected by a whole bunch of these girls who realistically just go out with some random attractive guy on a Tuesday night that she's attracted to, but the average man is supposed to romance and wine and dine her? Absolutely not.
But if you were the only person that walked up to someone in the day and said, I think, you know, I like the way you look, or can I buy you like a meal or like something like that? they are going to remember you 100%, because I guarantee no one else is walking up to them and saying, I like the way you look, can I buy you dinner, or something like that. Like that, there's no way. Because I guarantee, like, when I met my boyfriend, he was the only person that walked up to me that entire day to say hello and start a conversation, okay? Obviously, like, there were other days where people walk up to me, or like I would walk up to other people, but it never like was a good vibe, which is fine. Like, that's part of dating. You just talk to random people until you find a good match.
Really, Colleen? Guy or girl? It doesn't matter? Who are you trying to kid here?
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
She is describing cold approach. Women rarely do that unless the guy is a giga chad. And the part of offer to pay a meal, sure, women are going to do that. Men don't do cold approach as often anymore, but still the vast majority of cold approach that is done currently is done by men. Her current boyfriend did cold approach. That's awesome. But the vast majority of men who are attractive enough or have enough game to be successful at it will just do an alternate version on the apps. Look at the advantages modern queens have given these players. Firstly, the apps increase their reach from the immediate area to a 30-mile radius. Another edge is women on those apps are looking for a man, so he doesn't have to go in with uncertainty if she is or is not in a relationship. Another plus is he's going to know his real pool of competition is rather small. Like I said, you ladies created this dating app culture. Asking men to give this up is literally asking them to give up the tools you gave them.
How about new?
Here's a crazy idea. Why don't all of you women swipe right on the guys at your SMV level, and the chances of you getting a relationship may just go up?
Yeah, see, women won't do this, right? Obviously, Insolent Audits knows this. But these women, they don't want to date dudes who they feel as though are below them, right? Oh, he's too short. He doesn't make enough money. Oh, my ex-boyfriend had a better car. My ex-boyfriend had more muscles. Okay, and the list goes on and on. Right, this other guy that I used to date, he looked a lot, you know, his face looked a lot better, or he did this for me, or he bought me that. And so what ends up happening is these women, they get these delusional ideas in their head because of all these options that they get on dating applications, and all these dudes messaging them. But what they fail to realize is there's a very real difference between the dudes that they can get to message them and the dudes that will sleep with them, and the men who will actually have relationships with them. And that's where these women struggle, guys. Right, it's all fun and games till the biological clock starts ticking. They're looking for their husband. They're 29 years of age, and things are starting to look a little bit bleak. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace.